Billy Idol from 1990 with his cover of The Doors' L.A. Woman. That video was directed by star director David Fincher, long before he became a star movie director. Music videos have been an excellent training ground for a number of Hollywood directors. There's Mark Romanek, Michael Bay, Sam Bayer, Michael Gondry, Anton Corbijn, McGee, Mark Webb, Mark Pellington, Gore Verbinski, Taram Singh. And now you know why so many contemporary films have a music video feel. It's because a lot of the directors came from that background. In just a second, we go retro with a look at 1986.
More of the secret history of rock coming up. Back to the secret history of rock with Alan Cross.
Obviously, if I'm doing a show like this, I think that history is important. If we knew what has happened, we have a better idea of what could happen. And that's why I like to review specific years as part of every episode of The Secret History of Rock. This time, it's 1986. That was the year of the first computer virus for PCs that anybody seems to remember. It was called Brain. Primitive stuff by today's standards, but it really freaked people out. Those who had PCs in 1986, anyway. A lot of stuff happened in the sky. Halley's Comet, which was a big bust. The Challenger disaster. A hailstorm in Bangladesh where the hailstones weighed over 2 pounds each. Some guy named Captain Midnight hacked into an HBO satellite signal to protest the cost of access for subscribers. It was the year of the Bill Buckner bobble in the World Series between the Red Sox and the Mets. And something called the Oprah Winfrey Show made its debut. 1986 was also the year of the first ever set of inductions into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And those first through the door were Chuck Berry, James Brown, Fats Domino, Ray Charles, Buddy Holly, the Everly Brothers, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Elvis Presley. That ceremony was held in New York in January, and in May of 86, it was announced that the hall itself, the bricks and mortar thing, along with the museum, would be built in Cleveland. And it was. Van Halen started all over again with Sammy Hagar as their singer. Metallica bass player Cliff Burton died in a tour bus crash in Sweden. We already talked about that. And Queen started what would be their last ever tour with Freddie Mercury. Bands that got together in 1986 included Bad Radio, which featured a young singer named Eddie Vedder. They were based out of San Diego. There were the Pixies, No Doubt, and the Goo Goo Dolls. Bands that broke up included Black Flag, the Boomtown Rats, the Dead Kennedys, and The Clash. No one knew it at the time, but the Talking Heads were in their final stretch. They had several products out in 1986, all of which were called True Stories. There was an album, there was a movie, and a soundtrack to the movie. The big single from the album was Wild Wild Life, but that's not the track I want to draw your attention to. It's track 6 from the CD, which was called Radiohead. Where do you think that band got their name?